Good afternoon. There's been a lot of fuss about smart cities. In my last job, I was Chief of Staff for Mayor Nenshi at the City of Calgary. And I came to my first FCM 8 years ago. And 8 years ago, I was really excited. You come here and you meet all these municipal leaders from across the country. You go to the trade show and get all that awesome swag. Thank you, CN, for that battery charger. I still have it. And at every year, for the last 8 years, 7 years, 6 years, there's been talk about smart cities. And it's been going on for quite a bit. And I think a lot of us are starting to look like this guy. You've been talking about it for so long, but nothing's happened. And I think that's because a lot of us have not given, a lot of us are super excited about it, but we haven't actually explained why it's such a big deal. So we've been talking about smart cities like it's going to be the next best thing since sliced bread. And for many of you, it's probably not really clear why. Now, there's been a lot of great information at this year's FCM. Our colleagues at Bell did a really great presentation yesterday about smart cities. We did one about 5G. Though 5G and smart cities are interrelated. And I want to give you a little bit of context today about smart cities and why it's really going to be up to you as elected representatives to determine how this technology is going to be employed and how it could help make your communities better. So some context. When I try to explain the impact of smart cities, I like to look at another example. And that example I'm going to use is the iPhone. When the iPhone came out, it was a big deal. It changed the way the smartphones worked. But arguably, a year later after the introduction of the iPhone, Apple introduced the App Store. And the App Store, I would argue, has had a far bigger impact on technology. Because when they launched the App Store, there was about 500 apps when they launched it. There are now 2.1 million, and since 2017, the App Store has generated over $50 billion for application developers, from companies from the size of Microsoft to your 10-year-old niece who created an app and put it on the App Store and is now, paying for your kitchen renovation. That's an industry that did not exist in 2007. Completely brand new, because a whole new platform was developed. Well, 5G is going to do the same thing. 5G is really about the new networks that are going to be built by telecommunications companies in the upcoming years. And those new networks will allow for the transmission of data at much higher speeds and a greater volume of data. It'll facilitate machines talking to machines. It'll create this thing we call the Internet of Things. It's going to create an entire new platform. But what it's also going to do is cause that 13-year-old girl to create new applications that are going to use these high-speed networks. It's a new platform. How big is it going to be? We're not sure, but our friends at the McKinsey Global Institute have estimated that it could, by 2025, range from $4 trillion to $11 trillion US, a completely brand new industry. It's absolutely going to be huge. So, and this industry is going to do something interesting. It's going to create a whole bunch of data. As you have sensors and machines are recording data, you're going to create this massive pool of information that your municipalities can use in order to run your operations better or to make better decision making. But it's really going to be up to local government to figure out how this is going to happen and how it's going to work. And local government has two big roles in the development of smart cities. First of all, it is local government and industry which will have to figure out how to deploy these telecommunication networks. And if we as an industry and local government have to figure out how to partner to make sure that these networks are deployed in a way that is efficient, but also benefit the community and sensitive to the community. And second, it's local government that's going to determine what kind of applications are going to have be beneficial for the community. So maybe it's a good idea to put sensors in all the garbage cans and talk to the garbage truck and let them know if they should be picked up. But maybe that's just a giant waste of money and it won't actually make anything more efficient. We're not sure. And those are the things that you're going to have to figure out as a community. You know, how are cities and municipalities going to decide? I think there's about 4 criteria that you will be looking at. Is it going to save you any money? Is it going to help make your communities more sustainable and meet your climate change goals? Is it going to make your community more livable, healthier? Finally, is it going to help your council and your city administrations make better decisions, be more organized, be more efficient? And this can all happen, but it's going to have to happen through partnerships. We can't use the same old approach of customer-vendor. We as an industry, we as developers, and we as local government have to come together to figure out how do we make these new networks and how do we make these new applications work in a way so they actually make a better quality of life for all our citizens. It's going to be an exciting future. We look forward to it. Thank you.